club. What we feel is important in our club is that we want to enhance your speaking skills and also your communication and leadership skills. This meeting is meeting number 20214. Should be on the agenda. I don't have it up, sorry. And our theme today is peak performance. Our Toastmaster for today definitely demonstrates peak performance in all that he does. And we are so thankful to have distinguished Toastmaster Kaushal Gupta as our Toastmaster today. Please welcome Kaushal Gupta, distinguished Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Teresa, for that wonderful introduction. Welcome, fellow Toastmasters, including our visiting Toastmaster from another club. It's great to have you all here. As Teresa said, the theme for today is peak performance. And earlier this week, there was a really great example of someone giving a peak performance in a speech. You may have heard about this. A United States Senator named Cory Booker set the record for the longest speech ever delivered in the Senate. I want to share my screen just so you can see him in action. I won't play the audio. I just want you to see him in action, him at what I would consider peak performance. Believe it or not, this is him about to end his 25-hour speech. He gave his speech without taking any breaks. He stood the whole time because according to the Senate rules, if you sit down, your speech is over. In fact, there was a chair on the floor, but he had someone take the chair away so that he wouldn't be tempted to sit down. And he had his aides prepare remarks for him. And these remarks were relevant. They weren't just nonsense. He talked about the problems that he was concerned about in the American government, problems that you're all aware of, I'm sure. The the reasons that he loves his country, the people who inspired him to become a leader in the Senate. And this is him about to end his speech. Can you believe it? He's still going this strong, 25 hours straight. So that's something that I think is a wonderful example of peak performance. And in Toastmasters, our speeches tend to be only 5 to 7 minutes long, not 25 hours long. But imagine what a speaker can do. That I want you to keep that in mind as an example of peak performance. And while I won't ask you to stand for 25 hours, I hope you will give your peak performance today. What I would now like to do is welcome our guest, Tommy Graves. Tommy, could you please, you already told us a little bit about yourself, but now that we've started our meeting, can you just tell us where you live and your previous experience in Toastmasters and what you do for a living?
Absolutely. Thank you very much for passing over the mic. Yeah, as I've already introduced myself briefly, I'm Tommy. I'm from the north of England. I am actually reasonably new to Toastmasters. I started back in December of 2024, and I've been part of the Tyne online group, who meet virtually because I actually don't have a Toastmasters in person within an hour's drive of me, which is a shame. My reason for joining Toastmasters is because I'm currently in the process of setting up my own business, which involves me sitting in front of people and trying to sell myself and my concept. And obviously public speaking is a very important part of communicating that across from me to others. My background is actually in performing arts. So I studied that at uni. So I have formal education in performing for stage, screen and radio, which I hope will help me in this process of becoming a good public speaker in the business context. But whilst I'm used to playing other characters, actually, I'd like to perfect being myself and able to be a little bit more unique on stage as a human being. So that's what I'm going for, and that's why I'm part of Toastmasters. And I'm very grateful for being a guest on this. And I'm just looking to branch out and listen to like-minded folk, people speaking about topics that I am most interested in, which is why I approached you guys about the personal development aspect, which is something I'm very much interested in hearing more about from you all. Thank you very much. I'm not sure if that was enough or yeah.
Yes, that was wonderful. And everyone, please give Tommy a big round of applause. And Tommy, we are so glad to have you with us today, and we hope you enjoy our meeting and being participating in our club. And we hope that the Toastmasters program aligns well with your current development goals. I would now like to ask our grammarian and accountant, Teresa Carolyn, distinguished Toastmaster, to please explain her role and provide the word of the day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guest, Tommy. Being a grammarian is so important, and often when we have new members, we say, would you like to be the grammarian? It's the easiest role. And honestly, a grammarian picks up the language that's being used in the group, the language that is enhancing their communication and also their leadership skills. For today, our word of the day is astute. And an astute person is someone who has or shows an ability to accurately assess situations or people, turning her observations or conclusions to his advantage. And being an astute person means that you have that intuitive sense to move forward and to achieve your goals. So please use the word astute, and I will be looking for words that are filler. So try to use a pause instead of saying or and, which some of us use, and so that's the other one. So please try to use the word astute. Back to you, Mr.
Thank you very much, Teresa, for that explanation and the great word of the day, astute. Let's remember to use that whenever we have a chance today. I would now like to ask our timer, our guest, Tommy, to explain the timing duties and show us which timing cues he's going to use during our speeches.
Hello again. Yes, I am your timer today. A bit of a last minute addition, but I hope to do you all proud. I have 3 colours which will represent 3 different things, and I shall explain that to you all. So as your timer, I will time the table topics, the formal speeches, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denote specific times remaining. Table topic speakers should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise the green card, which I will show you now. There we are. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, I'll raise the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, I will raise the red card. Those giving speeches should limit their time to their specific speech times. Icebreaker speeches should be 4 to 6 minutes in length. At 4 minutes, I'll raise the green card, 5 minutes, the yellow card, 6 minutes, the red card. You get the picture. Most other speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes in length. At 5 minutes, green card, 6 minutes, yellow card, and at 7 minutes, I'll raise the red card. Finally, the individual evaluations should be between 2 and 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will raise the green card, 2 minute 30, I'll raise the yellow card, and at 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. I'm not sure if anybody could help me out after this, whether you could send through the agenda for today. I'm not sure if I've got it sent to me in email or haven't had it sent, but that would be really helpful for my timing purposes. Thank you very much for listening to me talk about timing.
Thank you so much, Teresa, Tommy. And Teresa, will you be able to post the agenda in the chat? Okay,
Thank you.
wonderful. And Tommy, so we're going to be starting with one 5 to 7 minute speech by Anvita Hegde. Then after that one speech, we will go into the table topics, and then we will go into the evaluation part of our meeting. Now, let's get to our featured speaker for today, one of our finest speakers, Anvita Hegde. She will be presenting from the Presentation Mastery Path. She will be delivering the using presentation software from level 3 of that path. The title of her speech is The Sweet Power of Chocolate. Oh, I cannot wait for this. Who doesn't love chocolate? Please help me welcome Anvita Hegde with The Sweet Power of Chocolate.
Whether it's a smooth, milky chocolate, rich chocolate truffle, or the creamy chocolate bar, chocolates comfort us. They fill us with pleasure and joy. Why are chocolates universally adored? Today, let us explore the sweet power of chocolates along with its history. Good day, Toastmasters and your guests. The history of chocolates began in Mesoamerica. The ancient civilizations of Maya and Aztec cultivated cacao trees, which produced cacao beans, from which chocolates are made. They prepared a bitter drink made of cacao beans, spices, and water. They used these cacao beans as currency and also in rituals. In the early 1500s, when Spanish conquerors came there, they took these cacao beans back to Spain, where it evolved from bitter to sweet because of the addition of vanilla as well as sugar. Now we know how we have obtained the sweet chocolates of today. The sweet power of chocolates lie in their chemical composition. Chocolates contain theobromine, phenylphthalein, and flavonoids. Theobromine is a natural stimulant which is closely related to caffeine. It gives us an instant energy boost without the jitters caused by caffeine. Phenylphthalein makes our brain produce endorphins. It will elevate our mood, make us happy, and reduce depression. Flavonoids are good for our heart. They improve blood circulation. They also reduce cholesterol as well as inflammation. They promote our cognitive health and make us more astute. Now we know why chocolates are magical. This graph shows us the nutritional content of different varieties of chocolates. Chocolates are rich in vitamins as well as minerals. Dark chocolate contains copper and manganese in huge quantities, whereas milk chocolate contains riboflavin in a huge quantity. How are chocolates produced? Cacao beans grow in pods. These pods can be obtained directly from the trunk of cacao trees. Each tree produces about 20 to 30 pods in 1 year. Each pod contains about 20 to 50 almond-shaped cacao beans. Once these cacao beans are harvested, they have to be fermented and dried to give it flavor. After that, it has to be roasted to give it its rich taste. The roasted cacao beans are then grounded to form a paste which is known as chocolate liquor. This chocolate liquor is further processed to obtain cocoa solids and cocoa butter, which is further mixed with different ingredients to give you your favorite piece of chocolate. Are chocolates good for you? It is very good for us. Chocolates help our heart. In 2015, a research was conducted in Swissborn, Australia, where about 114,000 participants were given weekly servings of dark chocolate. It was reported that they had a 37% lower risk of getting a heart disease and 29% reduced risk of a stroke. Chocolates improve our memory and prevents Alzheimer's. Lavado, an extract which is present in chocolates, will prevent damage to nerve pathways in our brain, which is affected when we have Alzheimer's. The next time you're heading to the beach, please consume chocolates and go because it will help you to avoid sunburn. There was an experiment which was conducted in 2019 in London, which showed that participants who consumed chocolates before going out in the sun were able to tolerate twice the amount of UV radiation before getting their sun burned compared to others who hadn't consumed chocolates. I wish I knew this when I was in school. Chocolates will make you better at mathematics. Professor David Kennedy of Northumbria University conducted an experiment where participants were given 500 grams of flavonoids in the form of a hot chocolate drink. Those who consumed this drink performed better at mathematics compared to others. So if your children are weak at maths, please give them chocolates. Chocolates will lower your body mass index. It will also help people with diabetes. A Californian study conducted in 2020 showed that flavonoids, which is present in chocolates, will promote metabolism and better insulin intake. Chocolates also prevent pregnancy complications by preventing preeclampsia, where there is high blood pressure, because flavonoids dilate the arteries. Now that you know all this, please go ahead and enjoy your chocolate without guilt. The Toastmasters, next time you eat your favorite piece of chocolate, don't just savor its taste, but savor the sweet power of chocolates. Back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Anvita, for that wonderful speech about the wonders of chocolate. It was so fascinating to learn about the history, the chemistry, the nutritional profile. And I wish I had also known that chocolate could have helped me do better in calculus. I would have had a much easier time had I known that back then. Our next part of the meeting is the table topics, a chance for all of us to participate in the challenge of impromptu speaking. Leading us in table topics is our topic master, Isam. Isam, over to you.
Thank you, Kaushal, for the introduction. So in today's topic, I have chosen some movies, actually, to relate it to our topic of peak performance. So the movies that I have chosen is The King's Speech, The Social Network, $1 Million Baby, Apollo 13, The Theory of Everything, and Good Will Hunting. So my questions are going to be related to this and for the theme of the day, peak performance. So who would like to go first? Teresa? Would you like to choose a movie?
Well, I actually don't know any of those movies, but I'll think of something to say. Thank you.
Okay. So let me choose for you The King's Speech. Okay. So this movie is about King George VI, how he overcomes a crippling stammer with the help of an astute, unorthodox speech therapist, whose keen understanding of fear and resilience turns weakness into command. So my question to you is, describe a time when someone's astute belief in you, like the therapist in King's Speech, help you conquer pressure. Describe a time when someone's astute belief in you help you conquer pressure. Toastmaster Teresa.
My district director is very astute. She said to me last year, "You need to be doing more things," because I simply wasn't visible in the district. In a couple of weeks, I will be going to the district conference and being a speaker for the international speech and also evaluation. Anne's astute thinking and passing that on to me has made some changes for me. Fatima, our president of this club, has said, "What are you doing? You are not using your skills to the best of your ability." And when I took her astute advice, I realized that there were things that I wasn't doing. And so I did step up to the plate again and decided that I will continue to make some choices that will send me to achieving a goal that I've had for such a long time. What does it take? It takes courage, and it takes the fact that you have to get over feeling the fear and embracing the fear. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Teresa. Definitely, it's the courage and the willingness to go forward and then listening to those people and moving forward. Moving forward, let me call upon distinguished Toastmaster Sumesh. Would you like to choose a movie?
You can give whatever you want because, like, similar to Teresa, I'm not good at movies really. So you can give me whatever you want.
This movie, Good Will Hunting, in 1997. So it has a genius janitor, played by Matt Damon, blooms under the astute guidance of a therapist. played by Robin Williams, shows how perspective support unlocks people's potential, actually. So my question to Sumesh is, who was your astute Robin Williams, the therapist who unlocked your potential and saw your capability before you did? Who was your astute person who saw your capability before you did? Distinguished Toastmaster Sumesh.
Thank you very much, Mr. Topics Master. It's a great question. It's interesting, the whole journey of life, where we go through lots of ups and downs. And in this journey, it is those people who believe in us no matter what that helps us in terms of going in the direction that we want to go. So in my case, there have been many friends, but the major astute influence that I would say would be from my father, because he had the confidence in me in terms of allowing me to do whatever I wanted to do. For example, when I was 23 years old, I had got this opportunity to come to Ireland from city in India called Hyderabad. And that it's like 8,000 miles. And I had gone probably 300 miles and stayed 1 month away. But this was a huge journey that I had to take. And he, even though was a little bit apprehensive about what would happen, but he had that confidence and he provided me that opportunity that, I can actually see a place which was totally different. And here I am, 25 years in this place and still here. Over to you, Mr. Topics Master.
Thank you so much. Yes, definitely. They are special people. Especially, mostly it's the close people or the family members that see the potential within us, how far we can move ahead. And then we really appreciate what they have done then. And then we realize, okay, we have reached, and then they are proud of us also. Thank you so much for that. Next, can I call upon Kaushal? Would you like to choose a movie?
I would like to choose Apollo 13.
Interesting. So Apollo 13 is a movie about Tom Hanks. So he plays a role where they are in a crisis while going to the moon, and they proves how calm strategic thinking turns disaster into triumph. So my question to Kaushal is, share an Apollo 13 moment where astute focus saved the day. Share an Apollo 13 moment where astute focus saved the day. Distinguished Toastmaster Kaushal.
Mr. Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, I can't say that I've been in a situation quite as dangerous as the crew of Apollo 13, but I think we've all been in situations in which we're put under a lot of pressure and facing a lot of uncertainty. And maybe some of us have been in situations that were quite dangerous and required astute thinking. I will say that whenever I'm in such a crisis, I noticed that I tend to be the one who seems to not be reacting to the situation. And other people have even said, how do you not care? How can you be so calm at a time like this? And I suppose the reason is that I've simply been trained to be calm and to just observe and maybe think things through. And I've noticed that it's not always me who comes up with the solution. In fact, it usually is not me, but I've noticed that when people have calmed down, usually the solution is something that everybody was missing because everybody was too stressed out. Everybody was yelling and accusing each other and saying, what are we going to do? When the solution could have been found if everyone just calmed down. And I think that Apollo 13 movie kind of showed that the value of thinking things through, even though the situation was so dire. People on Earth were really taking their time using simulations and working out math, maybe having some chocolate, hopefully, to really help bring those three troubled astronauts home. Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you, DTM. Kaushal, definitely, it's about taking one step back and looking into things without reacting. It gives us better visibility, situational awareness, what's going on. Thank you again, Kaushal. Tommy, would you like to try?
Yes, I can do. Yeah, I'll just get my screen set up so I can type at the same time, or Teresa's going to
actually, I
type
can
for me.
timing.
Yeah.
Fabuloso. That takes one thing out of the equation. Ahmed, yeah, I'd love you to pick one for me, whatever film you think would suit me best.
I think this one, The Social Network, will suit you. Okay, it's about actually Facebook. So it shows the person who created Mark Zuckerberg, his obsession about coding and everything. So my question to you is, what's the one thing or one habit that boosts your productivity or that backfires you? Anything. So what is that one thing that boosts your productivity? Tommy.
Okay. Thank you. Dopamine. Is it good or is it evil? All right. I think dopamine is a chemical that we all speak about quite a lot, but I'm not sure if people really understand what it is and what it does. It's so powerful. It can be used as a tool or it can be used as a weapon. Okay. And it is vital that you use it. And I'm glad that I have learned how to harness it as a tool instead of destroying myself and using it as a weapon. Dopamine, it is what it says on the tin. Okay. Literally, dopamine, the first two letters, do. It motivates you to do things. Okay. So if you harness it to motivate you to do positive things, absolutely fabulous. If you use it to motivate yourself to do things that aren't very good for you, that's not very good at all. So, for example, your brain simply likes being rewarded. Okay. If you are doing something that it finds rewarding, for example, fitness, which is going to benefit from a health perspective, you will get dopamine released. But if you do something that is still rewarding, like scrolling social media, which is entertaining, it will release some dopamine, which will motivate you to carry on scrolling on social media. And then next thing you know, you're 3 hours into doom scrolling, you've wasted your day and you've run out of dopamine. So you're not motivated to do anything else. All right. My tip to everyone else here is to use dopamine wisely from the start of the day. Keep your phone in the drawer and do things that make a positive impact to your life. For example, making your bed first thing instead of getting on Facebook. All right, going for a nice walk to get that dopamine pumping, but in a positive way to motivate yourself to do things that are good for you. Okay, maybe not eating some junk food, which will make your brain go crazy and release a dump of dopamine, making you motivated to eat more junk food. So my recommendation to you is start off your day with things that are good for you, that will motivate you, and the rest of the day will be more positive than you could ever imagine. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tommy, for that. Definitely good tips for dopamine, and hopefully everyone will be using it in a productive way. Thank you very much. Next, can I call upon Sabria? You are there?
Yep. Okay, I don't know whether you can hear me.
Thank you. We can
Yeah.
hear you. So would you like to choose a movie? We have The Theory of Everything and then also $1 Million Baby.
I'm not much of a movie person. Just give
But
me
I think
one.
this one suits you better, $1 Million Baby. So this is about a boxer, okay? And her coach is Clint Eastwood, a very senior actor, walks the knife edge between ambition and physical limits, revealing how that can go into the peak performance. So my question to you is, when your body defies expectation, like $1 Million Baby, did an astute push reveal strength or a red line? When your body defies expectation, did an astute push reveal strength or a red line? Sabria.
Isam, when your body
defies expectation.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much, Tabletop Master. I could hear about peak performance. I could hear about OSTEC coaching and athletes. Well, I was a coach and a manager for a weightlifting team in Malaysia, one of the states. Okay, and I know what it's like when athletes, you go through pain. You have to go through pain. You go through the training. You eat sports. You eat training day in and day out, and it sometimes can be overwhelming. There are times that you just want to defy. You didn't want to do anything about the training because sometimes it's too much. But then you always have that vision, your big why is out there in front of you to achieve that performance. And you normally will rely on your coach, your OSTEC coach, or your manager to help you go through that pain, to go through that rigorous training, because your goal is that gold medal and nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. So you don't defy training anymore. You just go through it. You go through the pain. You go through the rituals. You go through that rigorous just to achieve that goal. Because peak performance is your goal. It is what makes you the cream of the crop, because you are a top. So I believe in grooming and also in helping, in being a coach and a manager. And I believe that all of us, we don't have to be athletes. We are individuals. We are also achievers, and we aim for that peak performance. At the moment, all of us are aiming for the world stage, right, Teresa? Because we are there in our competition for our contest, and I'm going for my every contest next, and I will defy and go for it. Thank you very much. Back to you, Tabletop Master.
Thank you, Sabria. It's about, yes, definitely, I agree with you. It's about just doing it and going for the goals and then putting all your effort for the peak performance. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's the end of today's session for Table Topic. And back to you, Kaushal. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Isam, for those excellent table topics. I really enjoyed that they were based on movies, and that you were, even for those who haven't seen the movies, you were able to describe the theme of the movie so that every speaker could respond. I would now like to bring us to the evaluation part of our meeting. And leading us is our general evaluator, Samish Kumar, Distinguished Toastmaster. Over to you, Samish.
Thank you very much, Distinguished Toastmaster Kaushal. So we're going to the last section of our meeting, which is the evaluation section. And generally, I do say this always, feedback is the breakfast of champions. It's always good to remind this to ourselves. It's with feedback that always would help us to become more astute in whatever we are doing. So with that, I would like to invite the evaluator of our speaker, Anvita Hegde, who spoke on chocolate. And the evaluator is Lillian Monari. We'd like to give a huge round of applause to Lillian. She is a new member. She's done already a speech and she's started with evaluation as well. So congratulations, Lillian, and over to you for evaluation of Anvita's speech.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and our guests today. Anvita, thank you for a great speech, very captivating. You are an astute speaker already, so it's natural that you did a good job today. Today you presented on presentation software. Presentation software is a great tool that we can use in our public speaking. First of all, it helps the audience engage and help some learners retain the information a little better. And I think it also helps the presenter or the speaker be more organized and helps your speech flow. And you use presentation software today in a great way. I really enjoyed it. But there is a little caveat. Those not very experienced in presenting or not very experienced in public speaking, sometimes they can use presentation software as a clutch, and you lose some of that audience interaction. But you did a great job presenting and using software today. See, some points that I had, the slides were easy to read, the topics were well highlighted, and then you had less text, which was really easy to follow along as the audience. Sometimes some presenters have a lot of text in their presentation and it kind of distracts the audience, but your text was right on. It was minimal, it was straight to the point, and I didn't feel like you used this as a clutch. You still had strong presentation skills even with the presentation software. I thought it was captivating. The colors matched with the chocolate theme. It was very captivating. I liked the slides, even as the chocolate beans goes from the bean to the bar. Yes, I think you used it really well. To challenge yourself, I think in the audience, we have different learners in your audience. You have visual learners, you have auditory learners, and you have kinetic learners. You did a great job. For me, as a visual learner, I could absorb the information better. Auditory-wise, your voice was projecting very well, and you was very captivating to the auditory audience. But I would challenge you to connect with the kinetic audience. They learn more by interacting with you. So you can challenge yourself by using software that connects with the kinetic learners. Interactive. There are some softwares out there that the audience can click and respond to you as you are presenting. Maybe looking into some of those presentation software that the audience can interact with you as you're presenting. Otherwise, great job. I think you used the software very well. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
A round of applause to Lillian for a great first evaluation. In terms of my role as the general evaluator, I do not evaluate the speeches, but I do need to evaluate the evaluator. And Lillian, you've done a great job. You're doing the evaluation for the first time. And I did not feel that you were doing it for the first time. It felt as if you have been doing this for many years. So this is the capability. Basically, this is what Toastmasters is helping everyone. We have got a potential, but we never know our potential unless we actually start using that potential. And Toastmasters is providing us that environment where we can implement the potential and see how we are. You've done a great job, Lillian, in terms of showing that the potential is not only a potential, but it's actually practically seen. In terms of the bringing the evaluation for the feedback part, making the evaluation even better. One small thing is it's actually called kinesthetic. You were saying kinetic, I think. So just a small thing. Kinesthetic it is. So kinesthetic are the people who learn through the use of senses, using their senses, especially the motor senses. So there is auditory, there is visual, and then there is kinesthetic. So it's great, Lillian, that you actually mentioned about these categories of people who learn through different dominating ways of learning. For example, the auditory, the main way of learning would be hearing, the visual main way would be seeing, and then the kinesthetic is actually by doing things. So it's great you have done that. You could have possibly mentioned about what exactly kinesthetic practically you could have shown if you, for example, in terms of how it could be kinesthetic, what could particularly she have done in order to influence the kinesthetic audience. Otherwise, it has been a great evaluation, and congratulations once again, and keep this momentum, because that's all it is about. We just start on a momentum and then we keep at it. So thank you very much for a great evaluation. Now we go to the role holders. So I would like to invite timer and our welcome guest, Tommy Graves, to help us with the timing evaluation. Thank you very much, Tommy.
Hello again, everyone. Really enjoyed myself so far. And I'm here to deliver the times for both the table topics and then the evaluations that preceded. So, drum roll, please. For the table topics, we kicked off with Teresa, who came with a 1 minute 30 seconds, which is nicely in time. Samesh came up next with 2 minutes and 16, just over the limit, but within competition time. Kushal came in next with 2 minutes and 30 seconds, a fantastic speech, but a little bit over the time. I was next with 2 minutes and 17 seconds, which is a smidge over that 2 minute limit as well. Subraya came in next with 2 minutes and 8 seconds, and that concluded our table topics. Next up, we had the evaluators, both who were fantastic. Lillian with an almost perfect 3 minutes and 4 seconds. Fantastic start, really impressed that was your first evaluation. So a little clap for that. And Samesh, you did the general evaluation after that with 2 minutes and 30 seconds, which was perfectly in time. Thank you very much for letting me be your timer today. It's been a pleasure.
Huge round of applause to Tommy coming in as guest and helping us out like this is quite amazing. So we're really grateful to you for helping us with the timing role today. And great, you've done a very comprehensive evaluation. You have even given the evaluation for my evaluation of the evaluator. Generally, people don't do that. So that's great. And one of the things about Toastmasters in terms of the timing is that we have got the 30 seconds grace, which happens in competitions as well. So if it is 1 to 2 minutes, we can go until 2 minutes 30 seconds. But if we go to 2 minutes 31 seconds and over, unfortunately, we are out. So that 30 seconds grace is quite interesting aspect that we have in Toastmasters. Then we come to our next role holder, grammarian of this meeting, Teresa Carolyn, Distinguished Toastmaster. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. GE. Our theme today was peak performance, and I'd like you to listen to some of the words that were used in today's meeting. Our guest, Tommy, started us off with the word alert. How many times do you hear your timer say alert you to? And that started me off on the peak performance words. Words like crisis, observe, harness, astute influence, apprehensive, see a place that was totally different, productive, achieve performance, rigorous training, breakfast of champions to describe feedback, and deliver captivating. I just found that these words told us about peak performance. Our word of the day was astute. I believe I counted 10 times, and I think that ism had the most, but of course he had table topics. He could use that word quite a bit. Thank you. And I just like to say in the presentation how well Anvitha said the ingredients of chocolate. I would have been jumping over those words for sure. A new word that I've heard was Mesoamerica. Now, Kaushal, I'm not sure for you, you're closer to Mesoamerica in geographical situation, but I think that's the first time I've heard Mesoamerica. You can correct me on that. But thank you very much, everyone, for going into this meeting. I did hear once the word all right, and I thought that maybe John was here, but John is a member of our group that is from England as well, Tommy. And that was one of his words that he would use was all right. Other than that, I think that we did a seamless meeting. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. GE.
Here's a round of applause to Teresa, Carolyn, DTM, Miriam for giving us a very comprehensive evaluation in terms of how we did with our language and everything else as well. Thank you so much, Teresa. In terms of my role as general evaluator, the final thing that I have to do is in terms of analyzing how we did from the beginning to the end. We started 1 minute past 2, not bad at all, given that people are joining from across the world. And one of the things that has happened this week was the change to daylight savings time. That generally creates confusion across the world, I would say, wherever this happens. It's not dependent on this country alone. I think it happens at different places in the world. And even though this happened, we were all aware that this is happening and everyone came in on time. Thank you so much. Of course, and we have some challenges in terms of the agendas as well, because people have different things going on during Saturday. But even then, everyone trying to make it to the meetings and trying to do their best in terms of whatever roles and speeches we are doing is excellent. I think as an advanced club, Personal Growth Leaders Advanced International Toastmasters online club, we are showing that caliber in terms of how we conduct a meeting, even though, for example, again, a huge round of applause to Tommy for coming in as a guest and doing the timer role so comprehensively. So we are really blessed that way, I would say, that we are getting guests like Tommy, of the caliber of Tommy, and also Lillian, who has recently joined. And the nature of this advanced club is remaining advanced, even though people sometimes are coming in as relatively new members from Toastmasters perspective. But actually, the experience that they have is quite vast, and that's what is helping us. So overall, great job. And Kaushal, as usual, you've done a great job in terms of Toastmaster. I always remember you helping us with the first anniversary celebration where International President Richard Peck was there, and you did the Master of Ceremonies job, and it was so well done. I always remember that, Kaushal. The way you conducted that meeting was 100% professional, because it was quite a different meeting as well, because we had the international president there, but I always remember that, and you keep that standard always. So huge round of applause to Kaushal. And again, Isam, great thinking in terms of having this topic session. You thought about the movies. Of course, you actually gave the storyline as well, and then you had the question. So anyone who's not into movies, like there are a few of us who are not, but we still were able to answer the question. So that was really well done. even though if people did not know, you actually gave them the gist of what was involved, and then you asked the question based on that. It was a very good way of doing it, and we had many of our members and guests involved as well, which was really great. So overall, a great meeting as usual, even though we are a little bit challenged in terms of preparation well in advance, but then things just flow through once we start doing it. So that's really great. So congratulations, everyone, for a great meeting today. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much to our general evaluator and his evaluation team for their very encouraging feedback. That's a great way to lead us to the final minutes of our meeting. You'll only have about 3 minutes left. I'd like to thank everyone for attending. Irfan, I see you've attended. Good to see you back here. And Tommy, thank you so much for not only being our guest today, but being our timer. As you know, we are an advanced club, so each of us is a member of another Toastmasters club. That's our main club, but we're all here at this advanced club to get more opportunities for speaking. And I think you've already shown advanced skills and knowledge of the Toastmasters program. So we hope you would be interested in joining our club as a member. If Tommy would like to join, who should he talk to? Anybody?
Yeah, I can help out. Yeah, that's no problem.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you so much. All right, Tommy, did you have any feedback for us? We'd like to know what you thought of our meeting.
Of course, yeah. Thank you for giving me a bit of time to give some feedback. I've had such a fab session. It's been great to observe how a different group do it, and I have loved it. I like how, I'm not sure, is this every week or every fortnight?
Every week.
Every week, brilliant. Okay. Our group is time online is 2 hours and it's once a fortnight. So actually it ends up being quite a prolonged session where the quality per second is less because people are stretching out the time that they speak. But actually I've come on today and the quality of speech has been at a really high level throughout. There's never been a second that I've felt bored or uninterested. It's all been really engaging. All of the topics that were discussed were interesting and came across in a really engaging way. So I'm really happy with it. I think this would be a great addition to my schedule, coming along once a week for an hour. But yeah, really impressed. Yeah, excited to come back. I'm not sure if there's any specific questions that you'd like to ask, but other than that, yeah, double thumbs up from me.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Tommy. We're so glad you enjoyed the meeting and are considering joining us. Whether you do join us or just would like to be a guest in the future, we would love to see you again.
Thank you.
Any announcements or other questions from anyone before we adjourn?
Could we look at next week's schedule?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay.